Have you ever noticed that you spend hours reading and memorizing a topic? It feels like you have finally learned it, but the next day it's gone. You can barely remember half of it. This isn't just your problem, it's something almost everyone experiences. During my studies, I realized something interesting. I often forget the theories I had read by myself the previous day, but surprisingly, I still remembered many of the same theories that I had learned from YouTube classes by hearing. At first, I thought maybe those teachers are just amazing. Maybe, but that's not the whole story. The real difference is how our brain receives the information. When we force ourselves to memorize something, our brain often treats it like a task that must be completed. There's a pressure, there's an urgency. We keep repeating the same lines again and again. So, as a result, the information may stay in short term only, and it is stored in short term memory but fade away quickly. On the other hand, when we listen to someone explain the same concept, especially through stories, examples, emotions, or real life situations, our brain processes it more naturally. You may experience this concept. It doesn't feel like we are forcing the information into our mind. Instead, we are simply understanding it. Typically, we love stories since our childhood. Our brains are wired for stories. Since childhood, we have remembered fairy tales, bedtime stories, cartoons, and movie scenes without trying. Why? Because stories creates emotions, imagination, and connections. Those connections make information easier to store and easier to recall. We don't stick during the during telling a stories because it stores in our subconscious mind. That's why so we love the stories. That's why a good teacher doesn't just teach facts. They tell a story around the facts. But here's the important point. Listening alone isn't always better than studying. The best learning happens when you combine both. Listen first to understand the concept, then read it yourself. Make a short notes. Making a short notes are a game changer. You have to do it. But people thinks it is just a little thing. They don't want to waste their time in. Actually, it is sinned and recall it without looking. This combination strengthens your memory far more than memorizing by repetition alone. Don't just memorize information. First, understand it, connect it, turn it into a story. That's the valid point. That's the many people failed in this situation. When we make a story, the concept didn't forget for a long time. You have actually experienced this at a certain point. That's when knowledge stops feeling like a burden and starts becoming something you will actually remember.